Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1453, written by Teddyfluffycakemix. When a hairdryer's cord defies logic. Hi everyone. I'm a bit of a skeptic, but I really can't figure out what happened. I feel I covered everything, but this still doesn't make sense. In our flat, I would dry my hair in the hall, as space-wise it made more sense, and I had a full-length mirror in there. I've always used the same hairdryer, never bought a new one. I'm someone with bangs, and a lot of bang wearers know that you have to style your bangs every day. So, I wash my fringe, and then blow-dry it with my hairdryer, every single day. I am standing up while I dry my hair, not sitting down. Normally, one day I came out of the bathroom, grabbed my hairdryer, and noticed I couldn't stand drying my hair, as the cord was too short. I was confused, as I've never moved that mirror and the socket is in the wall. Suddenly the cord was too short? When drying my hair, I aimed from above. Suddenly that was impossible. I've tried everything to make it work, but eventually I bought a new hairdryer, as this one was useless, as even when sitting in a small stool, it would still be really hard to dry my hair. So the new hairdryer is the one I still use. The expensive, nice old one is now in the drawer. I never was able to figure this one out. I don't get it. Bit of a lame glitch, I guess. But it's very recent, and even my boyfriend did not understand, as he sees me dry my fringe every single day. It's not like a vague memory. This just happened, and I have absolutely no way of doing my hair anymore with this thing. Anyone have fun, logical explanations? Case notes for file 1453. When a hairdryer's cord defies logic. This one is hard to place. I don't think it can be quantum immortality, because there'd be no reason the you in a different universe would have a hairdryer that she couldn't use either, due to such a short cord. I'm really not sure. Maybe instead of a DOP event, disappearing object phenomena, it's MOP, morphing object phenomena. Somehow, the length of the cord actually morphed to be shorter. I suppose if objects can disappear, they could change their properties as well, spontaneously. Bonus file written by Timbuktuian, The Mystery of the Empty Cabin. My family had a small cabin in the woods for spending weekends and holidays in. It was in a very deserted area in the countryside, and our only neighbor was a very old farmer who lived around 10 to 15 minutes walk away. The only other house was an abandoned old cabin that nobody had visited for decades. The owner died and the son never visited since. One weekend when I was about 14, I went to visit the cabin with my parents. My great aunt was there already, a few days earlier. She would go up there most weekends to enjoy the solitude and take care of the cabin. When we got there, she told us a very strange story. The local police got an emergency call from the cabin next door, the night before we arrived. But when the police finally got there, they found the cabin empty, except for a mug on the table with some water in it, and the phone lines had been cut. I remember this freaking me out, and I never wanted to go near that cabin again. My great aunt is a pretty serious person, so I can't imagine she would make such a thing up. Case notes for the bonus file. The Mystery of the Empty Cabin. The mug of water is disturbing to me. Of all the details in this, it's the most disturbing aspect. I'm not even sure why. Does anyone else feel that way? I mean, it could have just been a person that broke in to this abandoned cabin and was drinking and then left, but I don't know, it feels weird to me. Of course, the lines being cut. Did he call with a cell phone? It's very odd. Bonus file written by Complete Rip 1447. A priest, a scapular, and a family tragedy. When I was 14, I was attending a religious conference with my Catholic school peers. It was far away, halfway across the country, so the only people I knew were the other kids from my school. It was the kind of conference where you could walk around campus and hear different people speak, attend panels, go to events, etc., but no cell phones were allowed, so you were essentially cut off from the world for the week. I was walking back by myself in the evening when a priest I had never seen before stopped in front of me, grabbed my hands, and just gave me a good creepy stare down. For a solid 15 seconds, he stood in front of me and just stared. Then he reached into his pocket and handed me a scapular. Now, if you're not religious, this is a protective necklace type deal that is supposed to protect someone who is dying. give them peace, a sign of salvation and a protection from danger. He put it in my hand, closed my fingers around it, and walked away. I was dumbfounded, but put it in my backpack and didn't think about it again for the rest of the week. Never saw that priest again. When my parents picked me up from the airport after the conference, I could immediately sense something was wrong. They were very quiet and reserved, and I could tell my mother had been crying. When we got to the car, they told me my grandfather had fallen off of his front porch steps while I was gone and was not recovering well. When I looked down at my backpack on the floor, I could see the scapular was in the side netting pocket right where I left it. He died within 24 hours of my return. Now, I'm actually not a religious person, and I don't think I've ever truly described the Catholic ideals I was taught, even as a kid. I was really just following the beliefs that were handed down to me. When other people talked about feeling God's presence, I never understood them, nor did I know what they meant, or had anything close to what they talked about experiencing when they prayed. But this experience is the only reason I cannot allow myself to be fully atheist. 13 years later, and I still cannot piece this moment together to make it make sense. The priest could not have known me. His name tag was from Montana. I looked for connections in my group, went through all the teachers and students who attended, and no one had a connection to any churches or priests in Montana. I don't believe in an almighty being up in the heavens deciding who gets eternal bliss and who suffers eternal damnation. But there has to be some kind of higher power. I don't know what it is, and I don't have any further explanation, but something was looking out for me that day. Case notes for the bonus file. A priest, a scapular, and a family tragedy. I'm right there with you. I don't think any particular religion describes what the creator would be like, or what life after all quantum immortality deaths are exhausted would be like. But especially with all the stories I've read at this point, that I do believe there is something else out there that is currently beyond what we can observe. It's hard to deny that. There's just too many anomalies going on that I can't see fitting in neatly without some force beyond the universe having a role. And now time for the joke of the day. A woman in labor suddenly shouted, "Shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't, didn't, can't." "Don't worry," the doc said. "Those are just contractions." This is like a joke that Data would make on Star Trek TNG. You can't use contractions. Well, these words are less painful than the real thing. That's a bonus. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.